Hello, everyone. Welcome again to BJJ and Brews. My name is Noah John, joined with my illustrious co-host, Christopher Vu.
So you said hello, everyone. I was surprised. I expected you to go, okay, guys, but that's
Huge honor for me.
Okay, guys. Today we're going to work on. Hey, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning to you. So today's episode is a conversation we had before class. So before our 11 a.m. Mixed levels Jiu-Jitsu class with, I'm going to see if I can get the last name right. Here we go. Jason Cosentino.
Cosentino?
I believe that's how we pronounce it.
Is it? I put a T in there. I put an extra T in there probably.
No,
I probably
it's Cosentino. I don't know. If you're wincing when you hear this, Jason, I apologize. But Jason is a dude that's been training at our gym for a little over a year now. He recently got his blue belt. It was actually a real emotional time when he got that blue belt,
it was
because
awesome.
He's a salt of the earth guy that everyone really likes, and he happened to hurt himself right before he was going to test for his blue belt. So that was kind of a setback for him, but he did manage to get promoted, and everyone was really happy for him to get promoted
and rightfully earned.
And rightfully earned.
Like he just happened to get injured. Like that's the unfortunate.
I'll let him describe the story because that's one of the things we touch on. But it was a super great time to chat to him, and I think you'll really enjoy his story, especially coming from where he started, which was the Bronx.
Yeah.
And
which was super enlightening to us.
Yeah, and you're going to hear it in his accent and everything. And him ultimately coming to Orlando, walking into this gym, walking out of this gym, and then walking into the
back
gym
in, and
a few years later, and actually starting to train.
Yeah, and if there's not a story to inspire you, like this is it. Like if there hasn't been one yet, he's the epitome of Jiu-Jitsu saved my life, Jiu-Jitsu changed my life.
Yeah, and
like he's
an awesome teammate to have in the crew. So it was a great chat. As always, like, subscribe, share. We're on social media, BJJ and Brews, Instagram, Facebook. You can shoot us an email at bjjandbrews@gmail.com. But without further ado, let's pass it over to our conversation with Jason Cosentino. We're live, and I'm not going to tell him what the script is because there's no script.
That's the joy of this podcast, is that it's a conversation. Awesome. I'm. You will have to join us for an afternoon, though, so you can have a beer with us to truly mint it the way it's supposed to be.
I like truly.
The experience.
Truly fake beer is good, though.
Okay, I actually have some contact, so I'll be able to get some truly. And actually, my one of my contacts works for Crown Distributors, or not Crown, Constellation Brands, which distributes Corona brands in America. So I'll be getting an early sample of the Corona seltzer.
So the only other thing is just make sure you talk into the mic. So there's some. Yeah, there we go. I'm the mic Nazi. I'm sorry.
What do they say? Like
kiss the mic. Like you're almost.
I don't know.
It's something kind of inappropriate. So I don't want to talk about this. So Jason, you are a guy that you've been here for about a year training at the gym.
Yeah, last November I started training here.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I feel like you're a guy that every time I've interacted with you, you've been like a genuine, like you're just like salt of the earth guy. The thing is, I've never really had an extended conversation with you, so that's why Chris and I think Chris would agree on this.
I mean, I've chatted with you like topically a lot of times, and you're a joy to be around, and you're one of the most genuine, friendliest, kindest. Like maybe it's the Italian in you that. I didn't even know you, and I think you've just seen me around, and we sat and talked one day, and it was like you had known me for 30 years.
That's the sales guy in me.
Is it? So you're about to go to work after this. Thank you for coming in early. What do you do?
Well, I just changed up jobs. I'm analyzing water in people's houses now.
Are you really?
Yeah.
So where are you gonna go? Like, is it?
Well, I'm probably gonna go to Lake Mary now.
Okay.
Yeah, but people typically don't want to let you. People don't know what they don't know. So it's. I have these girls that get me indoors because people don't typically answer doors for guys, especially guys like over 200 pounds knocking on the door. Especially boom, 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 and I get inside the door and I just show them how bad their water is. That's it.
How bad is water really?
Second worst in the country.
Is it really?
Florida. Yes.
In Florida?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Second worst in the country.
That's terrible. Where's the worst then?
Texas.
What? Not Flint, Michigan?
No, they didn't even make the top 10 list.
No way.
No,
Come on.
They didn't even make the top 10. But Texas, because of all the fracking, they're the worst water in the country. Yeah.
So what's making our water so terrible?
The aquifer, it's especially in Central Florida. It's the table is so high. If you don't know what a table is, it's basically you can dig 5-6 foot and find water in some parts of Central Florida.
Right.
We're the third largest producers of oranges in the country, right? So what do you think they have to do to prevent the insects and things to get into those oranges? They have to put all kinds of pesticides and herbicides. That winds up in the aquifer. You flush your toilet, that winds up in the aquifer. And the only thing they do to fix the water here is a 2-step process. They aerate it. They put it in an aeration tank to try to get the stinks out. And then afterwards, they pump it full of chlorines and pH adjusters, and they go ahead and sell it to us. And that's what we have in our faucets.
Is that why our water smells like pool water, basically?
Yeah,
it is. I mean, I'll do a chlorine test on any faucet in anybody's house right now, and it'll be more than the ideal levels of a swimming pool. So it's
That's
almost
horrendous.
it's almost like if you take a 10-minute shower, a hot shower, it's almost like drinking 8 glasses of pool water. So
Really?
it's disgusting, man.
I
It's
take
disgusting.
well longer than 8 minutes of hot showers.
I'm depressed already.
I know.
Sorry,
Dang, man. All right, so Jason, what brought you into this gym initially?
It's a funny story because when I first came to Florida, my sons.
You're originally from the Bronx, right?
I'm from the Bronx, yeah. And there was a gym I went to in the Bronx. Well, one of my children went there.
A jiu-jitsu gym?
Jiu-Jitsu gym. It's called Jungle Gym Bronx. Just like the Jungle Gym here, but Jungle Gym Bronx. Coach Chim Garcia. So my kids were there, and I figured I came to Florida. I know Florida's known for mixed martial arts and all kinds of martial arts. Good guys come out of here, so I said, let me look for a gym. And I actually ran into this gym one day because I just seen a martial arts sign 4 years ago or 5 years ago. And I saw Caroline, and actually Paul was mopping the floor. I didn't know anything. I just said, I grabbed the card and I never came back. So
When was this?
it was like 5 years ago.
Were we here 5 years ago at this location?
4 years or 5 years ago, yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, it had been here for I've been back here for 3 at this point.
Yeah, about
So,
4.5 years ago, yep.
So you just happen to see, so what's funny is he's describing seeing the mixed martial arts sign out there. What he's saying is on the main road, which is Colonial or 50, this is part of like a plaza. And on that sign for what's in the plaza, you've got a restaurant, this and that. But it doesn't say American Top Team. It doesn't say Tribe. It just says mixed martial arts.
Exactly.
But it's funny that caught your eye.
It did.
But that's just it, right? So one of the early mistakes that a lot of all the guys did here was they didn't realize actually the weakness of the time of branding. And it's more important for you to have mixed martial arts out on the street than it is to have American Top Team, because the average person driving by, unless they know what they're looking for, doesn't know what ATT is, right? So it's more important to have that's why you never see championship karate on a sign, like in a Publix plaza. It always just says karate, right?
Exactly. I see
And that's
that,
what caught your eye, right? So
Yeah,
just-
absolutely. Yeah, and that's what
If
got
it said
me in.
American Top Team, would you have known what it was?
Probably not. I mean, I watch UFC, but I don't pay attention
Right.
to the teams until I got into it. Once I got into it, now I pay attention to who's
Yeah,
who.
now you're in, right?
Yeah,
Like,
now I'm
you're
in there. Yeah.
So when you came in here, it was just this one side, correct?
No, it was Paul. Paul was my. Oh, wait, it's
yeah,
hard to
yeah.
remember.
It must
Yeah, it
have
might have
been
been just this one side.
just
Yeah,
this one
yeah,
side.
it was. Yeah, it was.
And there's a cage, and there was a fence over there against the.
I remember seeing Paul come up to me, and Paul had these ears that were just they were mangled up, and I was like, man, maybe he's. I didn't even know what to think, and my son, he didn't wind up coming. He
So you were looking for you, or you're looking for your son?
I was looking for my sons.
For your sons,
to
okay.
keep him out of trouble, because that's what kept them out of trouble in the Bronx. It
Oh,
kept
that's
their-
it. Wow.
It kept them occupied.
So did they do it as most parents kind of force their kids into martial arts, or do they actually enjoy doing it and really kind of clung on to it?
They used to enjoy it, but then it became their friends got in their heads. Why are you going? And why are you not hanging out with us? I mean, they don't do anything crazy. They don't do drugs or smoke cigarettes or anything like that. But they just got into the teenage thing, and they thought of it like a burden.
But what more What makes you more of a badass when you're a teenager than the ability to whoop other teenagers' asses?
I know, and it helped them so much. I mean, growing up in the Bronx was a little tough. I mean, in my neighborhood, it wasn't known for shooting and stabbing. It was known for fighting. I mean, you had to bare knuckle it out, and somebody will pull out a baseball bat and take a swing at your head, and it was crazy.
That's pretty crazy, actually.
No, I mean, later on, they'll come back with a bat because you jumped their brother. And
my God.
And one day, somebody knocked on my door, and I thought it was my son's friend, and he was like, "No, I'm not going outside, Dad." So, what do you mean you're not going outside, Jay? He went outside, and he got his ass kicked in front of me. And there was a crowd of kids watching, so they brought all their friends to watch him kick my son's ass because I guess they knew he couldn't fight. I felt I got to do something about this. I found Jungle Gym. I just Googled martial arts gyms, and I found one locally as Jiu-Jitsu. Put him in there. About a month later, he saw the kid in the street. And I said, Jay, now, what are you going to do, man? I'm paying for this class. That's what parents think. I guess bad parents think like that. What are you going to do now, Jay?
Retribution?
Yeah, what's going to happen now, Jay? Now,
awesome.
I'm hyper. I'm psyched up. I'm like, he's going to kick his ass. He's going to kick his ass. And then my son, Jay, walks up to him, and he gets punched in the face hard. And he took a knee. I was like, man, I just wasted my money. What the hell's going on, man? And then, you know what? He took another swing. He said, Dad, don't worry. I wanted that to happen. And then he ducked another one and got behind him and locked his legs in and just made him say uncle. And he rear naked choked the kid. And, you know, they became friends after that. It was the martial arts. That's what got me hooked on them going to martial arts.
That's interesting that he baited him.
He baited. I don't know why you would let somebody hit you in the face.
For justification, they fired first.
Yeah, oh, there we go.
So I'm
My
curious.
heart dropped when I saw it. I was like, shit.
Did you know? Because you said jiu-jitsu again. Like when you said you were looking for martial arts schools, did you specifically have in your mind that you wanted your son to train jiu-jitsu?
No, I saw jiu-jitsu, and you know, I'm an analytical person. I look up everything before I do anything. I look up reviews and ratings and things like that. Even though he didn't do anything, Justin Garcia, he never advertised anything, but he wound up organically in the search results. But I looked up jiu-jitsu, and to me, it was a great base. I mean, he even said on his website that either you could, it's perfect for the little guy, and my sons aren't huge. I'm not huge. I'm short. I'm just heavy. But yeah, it's perfect for the little guys. So I thought it was a great base to have. I mean, karate, kicking. My youngest one was in taekwondo, and I noticed they mixed them up different. And he kicked this little girl in the face and made her bleed. Just for some reason, he knew how to kick. And I just felt this is not for him. I mean, and I put them both in jiu-jitsu.
Take that, Chris.
No, I mean it works. I mean, like kicking somebody in the head works, right?
Oh, you were a taekwondo guy?
I did it for 11 years before I started jiu-jitsu. So.
I pulled him out at orange belt, if you know what orange belts are.
We didn't have orange at our school, but I'm familiar with it.
Breaking boards and stuff
that.
It's
I mean,
$2 a board.
So you came into the gym, you met Caroline and Paul, and did you sign them up immediately, or did you?
No, you know what? Caroline was friendly. Paul was even more friendly. I was like, wow. I mean, this guy, you can obviously tell he's a fighter, because just not to say anything against Paul the way he looks, but you could tell he fights. You know what I mean? And he was just such a nice person.
His body shows the signs of his career, for sure.
Yeah, he was such a nice person. And when I talked to my sons about it, they had every excuse in the world not to do it. And me, my former job, I worked so many hours that I couldn't kind of enforce it.
Right.
I mean, if you want to look at like enforcing it.
How old were your sons at the time?
The younger one was 13 when we came here, and the older one is 16. Well, he's 22 now, and
So
they're 18.
They're adults now.
Yeah. You know, I even got the younger one to come over here one class, but my mistake was I said, hey, don't worry, he's been doing this for 4 years, and he was doing a kids jiu-jitsu for 4 years, and they had an MMA class on Saturdays. They put on the face mask and they thump it out
For kids?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, you see these little kids, it's crazy, man. It looks like they're miniature boxers, and they're taking haymakers at each other and kicks and arm bars.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it was fun. I mean, to me, it looked fun until they told me, why don't you do it and see if it's fun? And I tried a class, and it was a kind of gym that it wasn't like here. Like here, for example, people are nice. Like you said, I was nice person. Everybody here is like that.
A little closer.
And I think if they weren't like that, they wouldn't wind up lasting here very long. Like, I don't want to name drop, but a certain person that was here on one of the promotions, he was kind of bullyish, and he's not here anymore. I mean, I think we all know what happened there. Yeah. But anyway, yeah.
So what made you, because you came in, you saw the gym, and then you walked out. This was like 3-4 years ago, you said. What made you walk in the doors a little over a year ago and sign up?
I needed to do something with myself. I was 250 something pounds, and I said to myself, crap, let me give this a shot, because they always told me come back. I was finishing up something I was starting up in the other gym. I joined for like a week, and then there was just a bunch
here for a week?
No, Jungle Gym Martial Arts.
Okay.
Yeah. And what happened there was this. I mean, there's this guy. He rolled with me, and he had a lot more experience. He was an MMA guy. He fought like not professionally in UFC, but he was a fighter, and he wasn't very helpful with showing me. Like, he would get my back when I'm just learning. I'm just like, just show me. Yeah, he gets my back and
like
holds
old
me.
School day right here.
He holds me there, and he don't let me go. I'm like, get the fuck off me, Mike. What the fuck? And then the whole gym looks at me, and it's embarrassing. One day he caught me in a triangle and farted in my mouth. Like, come on, like, look at this. So I left, and I came here, and it was like, I don't know. I needed to do something. I got hooked pretty quickly.
So you're actually a prime example of what we've talked about a bunch of times, is the idea of providing an environment with a better onboarding process for somebody just off the street, right? Because you're a tremendous student now, and a wonderful addition to the gym, and a great personality to have around.
Thank you.
Like, we would have lost you if we had that sort of environment, right? Where,
absolutely.
Yeah, and that's a shame that that gym lost you. Like, shame on them.
Yeah.
So did you joined initially? Was it to do something with your sons, or to get in shape also?
I wanted to set the example. Like, if I do this, maybe they'll try it. I got my younger son to come for a class, but like I said, he said, I told everybody that he had 4 years experience, so
right.
They're not going to go easy with somebody with 4 years experience. And he got choked. And he just like, I just got to class, I'm getting choked already. He just made up every
As a
excuse
teenager,
not to
that's
come.
probably pretty demoralizing,
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was 17 when he tried here.
So this was in an adult class?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, but that's the only thing with him, and he's just a bag of excuses. But now he's in college, so I'll let him be, and I'll just go and I push him. I'm like, look, Dad's blue, purple's next, and then
Yeah, well, and also I think just the training that they've done, to the extent that they did it, is still going to put them a fair margin ahead of just the common guy in the street, so they can handle themselves to some degree. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
So what were your first 3 months like?
Scary at first. It was scary because it's very close contact with people. There are a lot of big guys in this gym.
Yes.
Right, lots of
Very
big guys.
much so.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm fucking working out because of this shit. I'm like, God dang, everyone's so big. I gotta have to push some. Gotta get my frames better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know. I was talking to Casey the other day, and Casey was telling me that there's this guy, like this big guy in the gym. He was a wrestler. He's just started. He's like 6'5", 250. It was like, I'm thinking about, he's the guy from New York. I know who you're talking about. He says, he's stretching me out like.
I know the guy. I can't think of his name right now because he's a new guy. But yeah, Mike C. Here's how big it was. Jovan called him out to roll.
Oh, really? He's like you.
So it's like if he's calling this guy out already, it's because this guy's like physically presents such a problem already because he's a big dude with a high motor. He's like, Sahibi was like, dude, that guy's strong.
Oh, really? And he was a wrestler, so that presents.
At some level, he wrestled. Yeah.
Okay, I mean,
that takes a lot for Sahibi
you
to
can
say
wrestle.
that.
You can roll somebody who's only wrestled for 2 years or something, and you can tell they've done something because just.
I mean, I've just done jiu-jitsu for a little over 2 years. You know what I mean? So it's like 2 years of any sort of grappling is a lot.
Right. Especially the 2 hour long practices that they're just grinding you into it. So you stuck with it. You really enjoyed it, obviously, and
I can't even explain
to
how
see the level of improvement and.
You know what I enjoy a lot about it. It's crazy because when you're rolling with somebody, you know how say you go to another martial art, you can fight, you can kick somebody. It was a lucky shot, this and that. When you're doing jiu-jitsu, they're saying I give up, I quit, stop, tap,
Right,
get off of me, you won. So it's like it's that gratification, like everything that I was just taught. I applied it and it worked. So I was like, I mean, it just it becomes an addiction. You want to keep on testing the waters, testing new things. All right, I just did this wrong. I've been hurt, not majorly, but I've been hurt a few times, and I'll just tape myself back up. That's how addicting it is to me. Like, I just came back from an injury, a groin injury, but my fault for not stretching. Tried something I shouldn't have tried, and I'm back though.
Is that the worst injury you've suffered so far?
Yeah, it was pretty crappy, but it was practice. It wasn't even rolling. I was practicing for my blue belt exam, and that's I tried to do a double leg on one of the guys, and he sprawled, and I went with it anyway, and I felt a pop.
Oh my god!
Yeah, so I was like, oh man, and I walked. I was fine. You were here actually. You were actually. It was you and Old Man Bully running the class.
I wasn't running the class. It was after class, and I know that everyone was. Guys like yourself that had the blue belt test were kind of paired up doing your own thing. Class had ended, and you guys were going over shots. Yeah. And I remember you putting your one leg out, to do the shot. And I don't know if it was the way you came down or from the sprawl, but I remember you, grabbing the inside of your thigh, and you're like, and I was like, shit, groin injuries are usually kind of like real nagging injuries. So I'm hoping he just. It was just a minor thing, but you said you heard something. I didn't hear anything, but I'm like, oh, that's kind of shitty,
Have you had to just rehab it on your own, or did you have to get surgery?
Yeah, I kind of rehabbed it. When I talked about it, I looked it up online. I went to a chiropractor.
Oh, you did? Okay.
And he told me that sounds like athletic pubalgia, and it's basically a torn lower ab that comes around your pube bone, and it could take 2 months to heal, and if it doesn't, you got to go get surgery. So I'm not a surgery guy. I don't like surgeries. I had a couple of them. I don't like them. So I'm just taking it easy, taking it slow. Kind of feel it still, but I rolled twice already. Fine.
Good.
That's awesome. And actually, you're actually rare. Most people don't have the willpower to stay out like you did, because you actually stayed away. I'm the kind of guy, I'll just kind of test the waters. I'll be like, yeah, I'll just drill. And then someone's like, are you rolling? And I'm like, yeah, I'll go light. And then I have the nagging injury more and more and
Javier,
more.
Perfect example. He has that knee injury. And what he's saying in front of the whole class, he says, yeah, my knee. And he's the one that did it to me in the class the other day.
Oh, yeah.
And he came back. I think he came back a little too early, because knees are pretty tough.
Yeah.
Oh, was he the one who his knee dislocated in class?
Are we talking about that?
Javier.
Javier, who got his blue belt, Javier.
No, he doesn't have a blue belt. Yeah, I think he's been out for 6 months.
Oh, yeah, we're talking about the dislocation.
That one was terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it was terrible I've just never seen it happen before, but it still looked terrible.
That's why I don't know why he blamed it on me. I didn't dislocate his knee.
Wait, was that was the sumo match, right?
I didn't do it.
No, you didn't do it.
No.
It was somebody else. Yeah, it was
Xander.
It was Xander. Yeah.
It's the funny part. Xander's the one I was practicing when I popped. Yeah, Xander's another example. One of the guys that are here pretty big, but he's the nicest guy you would ever.
Absolutely, he's
nicest guy in the world.
Like,
he feels
so soft spoken.
Yeah, he's a nice dude. I love that guy, man.
And he knows how to gauge his own strength against whoever he's grappling to.
He's pacing now. I noticed he's pacing himself now. Before he was like everybody else that starts off.
Oh, just
balls to the wall. Yeah, you're not getting me. I'm not getting.
Yeah, but if he chooses to go back to that state, it's
dangerous.
It's very hard to stop.
Yes, it is
a lot. Yeah. So you said you had some bumps and bruises. You also said that when you started, you were over 250 pounds.
Yeah.
And you're obviously not that now.
No.
I mean, you got your tank top on, the guns are out, you know. So, which I'm sure your wife loves.
She does. She pushes me to go to class. She's the one that told me while I was hurt.
Your groin's healed up, right?
Yeah. She was like, when are you going to class? When are you going back to class? She actually pushed me to come back earlier than I really thought I was going to.
So, I know that, and I don't think I was out of shape by any means when I started jiu-jitsu, but there was at least, I would say, a month and a half, 2 months, if not longer, of my body callousing up to what we do, right? Because we're just using muscles and mobility and all this stuff that in day-to-day life you don't usually target. I remember yoga classes. You would be in yoga class with us, and you'd be doing your damnedest
you were
to
doing the
I missed
1
that.
o'clock yoga on Saturday?
I missed that.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
with
Sundays,
Renee and
Sundays
stuff.
too. Renee,
yeah, with Renee and stuff. So,
Yeah.
tell us, like, how did those body changes happen?
Dude, I'll tell you straight up from the beginning, the first couple of classes. I mean, everybody that wants to get into jiu-jitsu, expect that, because it's a full body, like a full body massage, but it's a full body pain. Literally, I didn't even know I could have pain in the places where I had pain. I mean, literally, I'll be sitting on the sofa, and when I get up, I'm 45 years old too, though, so that maybe doesn't help me very much. But yeah, that was something to get over. But now, I don't. It came back recently, a week or two ago, right? And I thought I was gonna get that slightly, and my body adjusted to it, I think.
How much of that, it just occurred to me, is, you'd kind of mentioned it earlier, is like a beginner tends to sort of resist everything, right?
Yeah.
And as you sort of develop your understanding of jiu-jitsu, how much of that is now, you know when to resist and when not to resist,
Exactly.
so you're not putting excessive strain on joints that you would have otherwise.
Exactly. I pace.
I mean, it's probably some of it, right? Like,
No,
I mean,
I pace, and people tell you that all the time from the beginning, but you don't think, because you
you just don't know.
Yeah,
you
don't.
literally don't know.
But now, I mean, I'll look for stuff. I mean, it seems like I have a more high definition vision instead of like
Sure.
the regular standard television like before. Now it became a HD TV, because now I'll see somebody if they dropped an arm. Like the other day, somebody dropped an arm down in front of me. I was like, he's trying to pass me hard, and I grabbed it, and I key locked it. I was like, man, I would never did that at first, but I saw it right away. I was like, that was stupid, and I grabbed it. So cool. And I pace. I don't get. I breathe now.
That's
How about that? That's Chris's one. Like telling a new person, breathe.
He told
Breathe,
me.
right?
He told me. You're the guard guy. You're the one that made me want to go crazy on how to retain a guard. And because of you, I mean, everybody has their own thing. You know it. You know, you showed me
What
when
do
I first
do?
started.
What the fuck do I do?
No,
I'm worried
no,
now.
no.
I'm
But I
sitting here,
remember-
I'm like, what?
All right, the first person to actually show me something was Old Man Bully, Mark. He told me.
surprise.
He told me, here, you want to see? I said, wait, can you show me something? He has a brown belt. I want to know from somebody who knows. So tell me something that you would want to know at a white belt level. So he said, grab my hand. So I said, pull me towards you. So I'm like, pulling, he's just holding like that. I'm like, man, all right, cool. What are you trying to show me? So he said, all right, grab my hand again. And he starts pulling me towards him slowly. And slowly inching towards him like it's a game of inches. And that stuck in my head. Stuck in my head about what you told me. I'm trying to bench press everybody off of me. When they're on top of me, bench press, he said, no, Jason, man, go like this, put that part in there, make them uncomfortable and push downwards like that. And I teach that to new people too when they come in.
Oh, you're talking about the
Just
forearm
downwards.
frame on the net, yeah.
Just down with you with the guard, just retaining your guard. I mean, you're a guard player. I know that.
Unfortunately, everybody knows that. So.
No, yeah, but you know, it makes you think about, wow, you're that good. Maybe I should start looking into retaining a guard. So I mean, just little things like that. That's what this gym brings to me.
What are it's a part of your lifestyle now.
Absolutely.
And we're happy that we can be a part of that. What are your training goals right now?
Well, I just don't want to quit. That's one. I want to be able to just see better, see more things. Now I see more than what I did before. I want to be able to tweak it and see more and more stamina, or just work it the way it's supposed to be worked. Work it how it's. Paul's a great teacher.
Yes, he's an excellent.
Work it the
best.
way he teaches how I'm supposed to be working it.
Do you I mean, you'd mentioned you're 45. I'm 37. You know, I think we're past the point of our lives where we're worried about getting into street fights, and you don't live in the Bronx anymore.
No.
Is the idea of training it for self-defense even in your head at all anymore?
It's nice to be able to know how to defend yourself and your family. I still have a wife. She's very pretty. You know, it's a confidence booster. I mean, to me, it helps me in sales. It helps me in everything. It helps me all around.
Explain how it helps you in sales.
Confidence. It gives me confidence. You accomplished something that most people aren't. I don't even know what the averages are, but I know it's not very high. Somebody who starts jiu-jitsu even makes it to a blue belt level, and then a purple belt, and then black like yourself. That was awesome. Awesome.
Yours was more awesome.
Yeah, but that was cool. That day was cool.
It was fun.
But yeah, it's just that's. There you go. I mean, I just drew a blank too. Sorry about that.
I would say yours is more awesome because I think given the amount of obstacles you had to overcome to achieve that blue belt, if I were faced with the same challenges in that level of development in my jiu-jitsu career, I probably would have quit by then. To be honest, like it's just to have to sit out and have the discipline to sit out for 2 months at this point and just get back to it. And it's easy. I mean, hell, it's easy when you sit out from having an injury from working out for 2 weeks to get back into it, let alone 2 months. It's so easy to find the excuses. So I have a real, not envy, admiration for your ability and discipline to get back in here too. And were you itching like every day to get back, or?
I'll tell you a little thing about the first time I got hurt. It wasn't. I mean, if you want to consider this a bad hurt or not, I don't, because it was a bicep injury, but they call it a bicep because there's 2 tendons in it, not one. I actually made a mistake with one of the guys, blue belt here. Not gonna mention any names, but I was going one way, he's going the other way, and I felt a pop there. My first thought, because I started getting into this, I started getting the addiction, the fire I gotta be in class, I want to go. And I felt a pop, and then my arm Popeyed up, and I Googled that, and I think I told the guys, I was like, look, my arm's like Popeye now, and they're like, okay, great. And then they thought maybe you guys didn't, and then it popped. But my mom's a nurse, she says, at least you have 2, Jason. You have 2 biceps. That's why they call it biceps. So you'll be fine. Just try not to pop the other one.
Did it bruise?
It did. Yeah.
Okay.
It did. But what I did, I stood out 2 days because I wanted to make sure what my career in jiu-jitsu wasn't going to be over. I just put the tape around it to hold it into place. And Paul saw that. Paul's like, "What the hell's wrong with this guy?" So then, that's what I did. And I continued rolling it. It didn't bother me at all. I forgot all about it.
Why do you think jiu-jitsu is so addictive? Like you just said it, you say it's super addictive. Why is it addictive to you?
Have you done other athletic things that you didn't stick with?
Yeah, I mean, I used to go to the gym. I played Little League as a kid, but I finished that. I just don't know why I didn't. I never really got into anything that needed to be like completed. I never got into martial arts. I was one of those guys that would hang out in the street, and I mean, it's just, I'm ashamed to say it now, but I used to, in the Bronx, I used to hang out on the corner. Like, you hear all the people and drink a 40-ounce beer with my friends, and then, other neighborhoods would come by and want to fight, and then we fight, brawl, like that. That's how my life was growing up in New York. I got all kinds of scars to prove it. But that's not me anymore. But this is something I'm feeling like I'm gonna, even though I'm probably gonna be 60 by the time I get a black belt, but I'm gonna keep on going until I get that black belt.
That's awesome. It was great that you came out on promotion day, December 7th, that you, even though you were injured and I think you thought you weren't going to get it because you couldn't complete your testing, right?
Caught me way off guard.
I think that speaks a volume about you, that you came out to support everybody else anyway. That's great, and I think that's the type of person we want at our gym. So you, just as you had mentioned, mine was a surprise. Yours was a surprise as well. How'd you feel?
It was. I mean, I didn't know what to say, and it was in front of Paul's other people in the other gym, and here at the same. It was just. He says, "Oh yeah, I got one more." Cosentino, come here. I was like, I wanted to cry, man. He almost cried too. I think Paul.
Oh, he did.
He did, right?
They weren't flowing; they were trickling.
I was like, man, he got me. He got me. I would do anything for that guy, just because of that one. Not only because of that. I mean, I love this place. He got me locked now. If it wasn't locked before, I'm locked now. Yeah.
So what does it mean for you now that you're a blue belt?
It feels like at first when I came back after my injury, I thought that I was going to be a target. That's what I thought, and I was thinking to myself, all these white belts, they're huge, and they're going to try to get me. But my vision is a little better now. I didn't just sit at home and do nothing. I did go to the gym and keep my strength up. And
you did? Okay, that's very good.
Yeah, I was trying. Like, they have a new machine in Planet Fitness. Not that I'm advertising for them or nothing like that. But the bicycle arm thing, I mean, I'd hit that 5 minutes straight at the high levels. And it's just that I didn't lose any strength while I was out, in other words.
Well, that's good that you were able to work around the injury to keep your conditioning up and your strength. because that probably aided this when you came back. Like you said, you didn't feel that achiness or that soreness that you're expecting. You're like, oh God, I haven't done this for a while. Am I going to go back to how it felt, early on?
It's good motivation.
Did you go down the rabbit hole of like YouTube or anything to try to?
I did. I checked out some video. Of course, I always pronounce his name wrong. Dahammer. I mean, he's a
Danaher.
Danaher. I mean, I watch videos sometimes. I don't dwell on them because I'd rather learn the way Paul teaches it because it's the gym I go to. But I look at YouTube videos.
So you've been back a few times now since you've had your blue belt. You said you felt like you might have a target on your back. What has been your experience when it's come to the rolls and stuff?
Not at all. What I've been doing, I just introduced myself to all the new white belts. I talk to them. I tell them the things that I would want to hear, like breathe, man. You gotta breathe, man. Just things like that. And that's what I feel my role is now. Especially going to a fundamental class. I'm not there to try to hurt anybody. I'm not there to try to prove anything to anybody. I'll help if I can because we're all the same. I mean, if you're going to join this family, we want you to be a big, happy family, not, we got to go to class today, man. They're going to try to smash me up. Before, I was trying to smash everybody, because I used my weight to my advantage because I was afraid if I didn't that I was going to get caught in some predicament. But it's not like that anymore. I'll smash for a second, I got you, right? And then I'll let go and then try something else, and that's how I do it.
Why do you think so? What flipped the switch for you to go from one to the other?
I don't know. I don't. It just happened like that. I don't know. It's just after you see the same people over and over and over again, there's no reason to. You have nothing to prove. I mean, but we want to help each other. Yeah, I have nothing to prove. We know each other more. A year, 12 months, 13, 14 months here. You get to know each other.
That's interesting how
it affects some people, and they. They. I mean, I don't want to use the word mature, but it's a certain level of maturity. I mean, or competitiveness. I mean, it's hard.
Well, I mean, we talk about like early on. We kind of think there's a lot of like fight or flight, where it's like you feel like you're almost fighting off an assault, even though it's not. That's still kind of primal, like I'm just gonna, and then you're totally exhausted in 60 seconds, But then at some point you make a transition. But what you described is even another level to me, which is as cliche as it sounds, it's like he's almost like, well, we've all bared our souls to each other, like we all know each other, so it's like, why are we trying to like beat it's like, why are we trying to beat each other? Let's work together and get better
together. Yeah, like that's awesome. And I think for you to come to that, and you don't have to answer if you don't want to, but like, was it something that somebody said to you, or did you just sort of like one day you're like, God damn, like why? Let's just all learn together and get better. And that's what
it kind of was. But when there was a few of us that were actually going for our blue belt exams, and we just calling outside the gym, inside. It was something that we all had to work at together, and it formed a better bond like that.
That's an interesting.
I definitely found that their cohort of blue belts, their class of blue belts, definitely tended to form a bond more so than the group of people that, like, I didn't train too much, like. It wasn't like there was a blue belt study group when I got my blue belt, right. I felt like
but you were the class right before theirs, right?
No, there's one more after him.
One or two.
There one or two more after him.
One or two. I was in a class that was small. I felt like Jason's class was a good example of the people that start around January. They train for about a year. They come in around the start of the year, either before or after. They train for 14 to 8 months. Like in Xander's case, he got it pretty fast, deservedly so, but he was more on the quick end. And then there's some people that might have come in November, but it's roughly a year.
But here's the thing: is did you observe the class before you?
Yeah.
So that's probably it too, right? Like they were able to observe, like, hey, like we see them kind of sitting around after class and stuff, like studying and stuff. Like I can tell you that to me, that's a very, just from my own experience, a very new thing. Everybody in my experience always took it as a sort of like individual endeavor,
a personal journey.
Yeah, right. Like Yes. And to see like blue belts, you know, I was teaching class a handful of times, and the blue belts were like, you know, there were 3 testing together or something, and they'd be like, hey, do you mind if we just sit off to the side and just work on our stuff? Like, that sort of dedication and commitment to wanting to just do well at your test is, I don't think you can teach that to people. You know, that's something that you guys develop together. You know, you form that bond together, and to choose to study like that.
And some of you guys actually took the test simultaneously.
Yeah, I remember I came for that day too when they were all.
That's the other thing that's worth noting. He came to almost all
the testing. Yeah,
all
I
the
wanted to be there
testing
for everybody.
So you talk about him attending promotions. He came to support his fellow white belts going to blue belts when they were testing with Paul doing the technique portion.
Every white belt and everybody testing, listen to that right there. Like, that's incredible. Like, that's this sort of, when you say tribe and here to lift each other up, that doesn't, you can't beat that. Like, that's awesome, Jason. I wish I was even that dedicated to be honest with you. I feel like a scrub now.
Oh no.
No, that's awesome.
Team player, man. I'm a team
like you
player.
said, like we're all here to learn from each other and to support each other, and that's something that that's incredible.
What was it like watching all those tests?
It made me feel good inside knowing that they did as well as they did.
Did it help? Did you pick up things? Was it educational for you to be like?
Yeah, we talk it. We hash things out. We talk about, hey, you know what this is, and some of them didn't. So if we didn't go over it like that, maybe you wouldn't have got that move the way you got it. And when everybody's smooth, the smooth flow, and you could ask Paul how well most of them did. I mean, it's a testament of just.
I forgot who was in your class. It was Xander.
Casey was there.
Casey, you.
Enrique
was there.
Javier,
Yeah,
Jay,
Gio was he was more the morning
guy. Yeah, Gio.
So I mean, but when I met him, we hit it off right away too. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, you guys had a super dedicated group. Now that, like, just mentioning those names.
Yeah, we have it. We all have our text message all copied onto the text.
Really? That's
oh yeah, the group text.
Group text, yeah.
The blue belt.
Hey, you guys coming over today? I got this to do. It was cool, man. You guys ready? We were like that. Yeah.
That's super awesome, man. Like,
it was. Maybe we should tell other people how we got that.
I think honestly, just by setting the example. I mean, you know, like, you don't need to tell anybody that. Like, that's incredible. You know, like, just seeing you guys sit off to the side of the mat is that right there is, as an instructor watching that level of dedication to the perfection of your art is great. So your wife said she enjoys you doing jiu-jitsu. Have you ever tried to get her to do it?
She was kind of hurt in New York before we came here. She was injured. She had actually a ceiling collapse on her.
Oh my.
Yeah, I know it sounds worse than what it is, but my sons found her on the floor, literally knocked out and things. And she has things that she can't do certain things.
Okay.
She's not deformed or anything like that. She's not permanently disabled, but she would love to though. She tries it. I mean, when I would go home and practice, she's one of those crazy, like, you know how you're afraid of a white belt going crazy at you, like she does that. Like,
she lets you drill.
What do I do? She's a woman. She's trying to kill me. Yeah, it was.
Did she let you practice?
I don't like to roll with my wife. In other words, I don't like to roll her. She lets me, but she thinks everything hurts. I'm trying to hurt her on purpose. Like if I get her in like a key lock or anything, she'll like that. But she'll do it to me, and she'll like. But she goes extra hard because she thinks she has to. She's a lot smaller than me. It's fun though.
No, I'm just
that image.
Yeah,
I'm just imagining. Yeah. Wow. So what is jiu-jitsu something you talk about with your friends? When I mean friends, it's like people not friends from the gym, non-gym people.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want them to think I brag about it. I'm a jiu-jitsu guy, so I
do you try and get all your friends to try jiu-jitsu?
Well, you know what? Since I've been here, most of my friends are in New York, and I work. I'm just like a workaholic. I mean, my old job before I'm doing a water analyst now is I used to buy cars all over the state, so I would be in Naples and be home at 10, 11 o'clock sometimes. So I had no time to even make new friends. The guys here were friendly, but even that, I mean, I would say I have to go to work. You guys invite me out to have some drinks all the time, or go places, and I don't know. I just chose not to because of work. Now I have more time.
That's cool, man. That's cool. What you just said you're you're a workaholic. You might not have the most downtime. You do now to some degree. Do you have any hobbies outside of coming here to do jiu-jitsu?
You know what? Not anymore. That's crazy. This is my only hobby right now.
Not anymore. So what did you like? How would you have killed time prior to?
I would sit down and shamefully say I played the video games with my sons.
There's nothing wrong with that. I mean, that's cool. That's
like
daddy-son bonding time, right?
But yeah, I wasn't very good at it. But I just like to go places. I go out to restaurants, try new restaurants with my wife. There's nothing to be ashamed of.
And you're a good cook. This guy, if you want good Italian food.
Oh yeah.
You've eaten his Italian food?
Oh yeah, you brought lasagna.
The first time that first promotion that December, I think it was your promotion actually.
Yeah.
It was the first month I was here. It came to the first promotion. Yeah, I said, Paul, you mind if I bring a lasagna? And I didn't realize that I forgot that he's a vegetarian. So I would have probably bought two, one for him, a veggie lasagna, and one for you guys.
Oh, we all enjoyed it.
I don't eat a lot of pasta, so I probably didn't.
I made a lot of lasagnas. I used to make a lasagna for the church that we used to go to in the Bronx for 4 years straight every Sunday. I asked the pastor that too. I said, "Do you mind if I do this? Because it feels good to me." Maybe that's why I'm so good with people. That's why I'm a people person. If I could help you, I will.
So help me then. Tonight my wife. We're doing a late Valentine's Day just because yesterday I get home from work. It's terrible,
yeah.
right? And she asked for something very simple. She's like, "Hey, Chris, cook your chicken parm." Any tips?
Chicken parm. I'm a marsala guy. I mean, I could show you how to make a fantastic chicken marsala. But
okay, then tell me. I've got so right now I've got chicken breast marinating in the fridge for cooking tonight.
Okay.
What do you want me to do with it?
All right, take it, put it in a little plastic baggie. Well, bang it out.
Closer to me.
Oh, bang it out. Bang it with a hammer or whatever you can use. Blanch it if you can. You know how to blanch something? You take it and put it in
like real hot boiling water.
So he first said tenderize it with the hammer,
but make it flat.
Make it flat,
and then you I'm saying blanch. I'm sorry. You coat it
Poach?
with a little bit of you coat it with a little bit of flour.
Oh, dredge it.
Dredge it. Yeah, that's what it's called. See, I don't even know what these things are called. And then you fry it. It's not that fried. Just enough where it's gonna be like brownish on each side, and then put it to the side. And then see the exact ingredients that you put in are different from what I would put in. I use heavy cream.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Of course, the Marsala wine. I mean, you can get it from Publix right now. You get a nice bottle of Marsala wine. Mushrooms. You gotta have the mushrooms. Yeah, you gotta have some mushrooms. See, now I'm thinking out loud how to do it. I just do it. I mean, I don't know how it comes out. Yeah. Then you have sour. No, see, I can't explain it. Like, I'm not explaining. I just have to show like that.
All right, so I'll do that.
I'll write it down before I leave. How about that?
No, it's fine. I mean, it's very simple ingredients, so I'll be able to.
How do you? Speaking of that, though, how do you learn? How do you find you learn jiu-jitsu techniques? Are you visual? Do you have to write things? Do you do anything to help with the learning?
No, I noticed that you do that. You were used to write things down.
I take notes, but that's. Actually, Tommy and I are identical in that respect. We'll write things down. Very rarely do we reference it, but the act of writing it down, going through it at that pace, helps it stick in our heads for whatever reason. But I would say doing it also helps. But in your case, how do you?
I do it. Maybe I should start writing it too.
Oh no, I'm not. I mean, people learn. People have different.
I can tell you, in 15 years, I've never written anything down for jiu-jitsu.
I just do it.
I'm more of like a doer, and actually, me having to explain it to somebody else helps quite a bit too. So maybe that's like an auditory thing.
They say you can't. You're not a professional until you can teach it to somebody else. That's what they say.
And you're not a blue belt until you can either.
Yeah, that's true.
Do you? So what right now in your level of development? What do you find you like doing in jiu-jitsu?
I like the fact that I'm not clueless anymore. I mean, before I felt like I was clueless. Even just the fact that you get a blue belt, you just feel like it's a sense of accomplishment. You feel like you've been told that. Now you know everything you need to know up to that point. That's what I like the most.
What do you like? What's your favorite technique so far? I mean, like, of course, there's a infinite number of techniques, but in your experience so far, what do you like to do?
I like key locks, man, because they're easy. They're easier for me to grab hold of. I mean, sweeps, of course. I'm more comfortable on the bottom now. Before
Are you really?
I used to freak out when I used to get anybody on the side, but I'll get myself nice and comfortable, pace myself, I'll relax. I mean, depends on how big they are too, and how hard they're going on me, how long it'll take me to want to get out of it. But normally in a normal roll, I'll pace, relax, and I breathe, and it helps. It really helps. That's what I've learned. Now that's what I know. If you don't breathe, you're gonna gas out in a minute. If you breathe, you pace yourself, you can go. By the time the rounds are over, I'm like, it's over already.
What So you said your weight was 250?
250. I was 270 at one point.
270?
Yeah.
Was that like when you moved down here? You were 270?
Yeah, and I tried to go to the gym, and even now I go to the gym now, and I'll go maybe once a week. Oh. And I don't even go that hard. I don't do any cardio, nothing like that. So it's really, really, really hard to lose weight in a gym without any guidance.
Did you and what was the lowest you got to so far? I mean, you probably gained a little bit back with your break from
I
jiu-jitsu.
got back to 218, 219 now.
What was the lowest you got to?
205.
Did you really?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
Did you find yourself having did you modify your diet?
I did.
You did?
Keto.
And was that you went keto?
Yeah, I went keto.
Oh, did you?
'Cause my wife went keto. I went with her.
Oh, so it's her initiative, and you did that.
Yeah, I used to smoke cigarettes, believe it or not, and her initiative was, let's try to stop. And it just so happens I wound up getting the flu, and I was sick for 2 weeks, and I said I couldn't smoke, and then she pushed me. She's the good one in my ear, telling me, and if I didn't have that, I don't know if I would be able to do half the things I do. 20 years with her.
Congratulations on that too.
Thank you.
So do you find yourself like? To me, everything is sort of geared towards basically being either better at jiu-jitsu or being a better dad and husband. Like, I'll watch my diet a little bit more because I know if I put a little bit extra weight, like it's going to affect me on the mats.
Exactly.
I lift a certain way and that sort of thing because it's going to help me be a little bit better on the mats. Do you find everything sort of funneling towards being better at jiu-jitsu? Like, you gave up smoking. Was that just for overall health, or you're like, it might help me breathe better?
It was something it was something I was told to be impossible. Like, it's almost impossible to do. And I like to challenge myself to do impossible things. Maybe that's why once I found a good place like this.
Did you give up smoking before
Way
jiu-jitsu?
before, yeah. About 16 years ago, I quit.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and I used to smoke a pack and a half a day when I was drinking 2 packs. So it was something I thought I would never ever do, and I did.
For somebody who gave up smoking
Cold turkey
and did a cold turkey, wow! Did you find an immediate, or not immediate, but a gradual or any improvement in your health?
Absolutely. Sure. I gained. That's when I gained more of my weight, though, because I picked an addiction to food. I mean, I had to have something in my hands, so I was fidgeting a lot. I wish I would have had that fidget spinner when I was stopped smoking. And I would eat. I would find every excuse to eat. I was in advertising sales in New York City, so I would go to restaurant owners, and to be a nice guy, if I'm going to talk to you about your restaurant advertising, I'm going to eat something while I'm there.
Right.
So I'd do that all day. I was spending $20 a day on food out, and then go home and eat again. I became addicted to food.
How are you still keto?
No, I'm not. I mean, keto wasn't the best thing for jiu-jitsu.
Really?
Keto, it's no carb. People who work out and people who do stuff like this, they need energy, and carbohydrates turns into energy. And I just couldn't figure out why I was getting, I was losing energy fast. And when I stopped the keto, like Jim, one of the black belts here, he said, everybody knows Jim. He said,
Jim Andrews?
Yeah, Jim Andrews. He said to eat a piece of bread before you come to class, it might help. So I tried that. It helped. then I found something called Zip Fizz in Sam's Club, and I typically do that. It's clean energy. It's nothing like it's gonna give you the jitters. It's they say it's equivalent to getting a vitamin B12 shot from your doctor. Okay. So that's what I do.
So that you went keto, modified your diet a little bit. Are you back to how you were eating before, just less of it, or
I can't? No, not. I wouldn't go there because I know how I felt when I first started here, how winded I was, and how just disgustingly fat. It's disgusting being that fat. To me, that's fat for me. I'm 5'8", 250, 270, whatever it is. It's way too much weight for my frame. So and it was easy to take it off here. I mean, one class you can lose 2 pounds, 3 pounds.
Yeah, I mean, so being an Italian, have you had to modify a lot of your diet?
Oh my God,
way?
I couldn't eat pasta or bread while I was on keto.
Yeah. Are you back to eating pasta and bread, just less of it? Or?
Yeah, I had an Italian sub and the other day in Publix. Yeah, but and I ate the whole thing too. I love hot sauce. Maybe I love jalapenos and things like that, and just cayenne pepper and stuff like that. But my wife is still not eating bread though.
Oh really?
She's still not doing it. Yeah, but she eats cake now.
Nah, I mean, you gotta have cake though, right? Yeah. I mean, what brought you to Florida?
It was tough in the Bronx. The Bronx was tough. I mean,
So when you moved, what year are we talking about?
2014.
Okay.
Yeah, so I came down here in 2014, September, and one of the things that made me move because I lived in a neighborhood in the Bronx where it was very diverse, but there was a lot of gang activity over there. My son did jiu-jitsu, but he was taking it the way I didn't want him to take it. Like he knew how to fight, so he would stand his ground. I heard there was one of the old gangster guys, this dude that had got buku problems. I know he carries guns. I heard he stepped up to my son, and my son approached him, and he was like 14, and he was taking swings at this OG, and then I heard that the guy he was going to go after my son, and then it was putting me in danger because I saw his Jeep. I took my shoes off, I chased it, I grabbed him out the car, and people were like, you know who that is, man? I was like, I don't give a crap who it is. So it's like I didn't want to get in those situations, and you hear gunshots outside, and you shit yourself because I have 2 boys. They could be hanging outside, and I was like, enough is enough. I told my wife, she said, I don't want to leave New York. I said, well, I'm going to go first. So I came down with my sons, and I stood in a hotel for like 2 months until I found a place.
How did you decide on? Did you come to Orlando first?
Orlando.
Really? Had you visited here before?
Yeah, every year we come down.
Oh, you did? Okay,
Disney, yeah, we went to Disney, Universal.
So you're one of the northern families that does that?
Yeah. We used to drive
down. Fell in
down.
love with Orlando because of that?
Fell in love with it. I just like hot weather. I like sun. You can tell, right? I like sun. I'm not normally that color. Every chance I get, it's the Jersey Shore thing, man.
GTL, baby. Gym, tan, laundry.
Yeah.
So, how do you love it in Orlando? Or how do you like it in Orlando?
I like it. I mean, you know what I noticed? Because like, if you're not looking for the trouble, it doesn't find you. Like, I live on Cimarron and Curry Ford area. It's not the best, I heard. But I don't look for any drugs. I don't look to screw anybody's wife or anything. I'm not looking for problems, so I don't see it. I don't find it. I found out from a cop one day. They said, you live over there, man? I was like, yeah. He said, you realize how many gangs are over there? It's like, no. I don't see it. I don't. I
mean, I know Sean has said that area with Cimarron and Curry Ford can be a little sketchy at times.
At times.
But it's one of those things where it's more like, if you drive through there at night, maybe you'll see more. You know, you're more apt to see a cop lit up around there. But when you drive through there, it looks like a normal neighborhood. It doesn't. It's not like a ghetto or anything like that.
You don't fear for your life. When
it's not visible.
Yeah, no.
It's not like going down OBT.
Exactly.
Shout out to all my friends at OBT. You know, I'm not trying to insult, but you know, OBT is a little different. You know what I mean?
Yes, it is.
So
yes, I don't feel.
And that's I think also
Spaghetti lived around there too.
Where?
Didn't Steven live around like not OBT? I'm talking about like Cimarron and.
I don't know.
Oh, I'm pretty sure he lived in that. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, it's not Mercy and Shader. Which,
yeah, exactly.
And plus, like, I don't know. Maybe I've lived in the suburbs, you know, all my life. It's like you just said, like if you're not out there looking for trouble, you probably won't find it,
exactly.
right? Like, and if you know, I've driven through because we work in the industrial part of Orlando, and there are times where we take little shortcuts to get to restaurants where we want to go eat for lunch or something, and you know, half the time I I see them like, man, like it's a rough part of town, but I guarantee you 75-80% of the people here are just people who are kind people. They're down to the luck, you know, and they probably just mind their own business. And there's the other 20% that's the ones out really causing trouble, right?
So, yeah, it's a good way to look at it. Yep.
And
I don't judge anybody.
It's just welcome to Orlando.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah, I mean, I'm from the Bronx, so it really doesn't. I've walked out of bodegas in the Bronx fearing for my life. Just one person standing outside, the way they look, you're like, oh crap, should I go back in the store and wait till he leaves? That's how it was over there. I mean, some nights it sounded like I'm putting fear into people that would go visit the Bronx, and it's stupid because it's not all like that. But some nights, in some areas, you'll have your window cracked, and it sounds like the 4th of July on a Friday, Saturday night, and it's not nowhere near July.
Oh, really?
So it's like, what the hell? It's people shooting off roofs, and they're shooting at each other. You feel like you're in a war zone.
Do you you were born and raised there?
Born and raised. I did 4 years in the Navy. I went to San Diego.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Do you know that Nick's going to the Navy?
Yeah, I didn't know that. No, actually, his mom and dad did tell me.
Yeah.
They did.
He's already signed his papers.
Good for him.
He's going to go, yeah.
It's the best bet, I think.
So what did you, I mean, like...
We have some Marine Corps guys here. They'll probably disagree with you.
But
that's going to happen. Everybody.
I get it.
So you grew up in a rough neighborhood.
It was pretty rough,
What made you... Like, so what do you think differentiates you and let you sort of make the decision to get out of there versus people who decide to stay there?
You know what? I tell them, I ask that question a lot. I have friends that still, if you go there right now, they'll wake up, they'll go hang out in the corner and do the same thing that they were doing when they were freaking teenagers.
Do they have kids just like you?
Yeah, they don't. You would never think they had kids. I mean, I don't like to talk about people behind their backs, and we're not dropping any names, but yeah, people, they haven't grown up yet, and I used to think it's because once you start doing whatever drug of choice you pick, that's the age that you stay at until you stop. That's the way I look at it.
That's actually a really
that's an interesting. I like that observation. That's a
very.
It's what it seems like.
No, yeah, because I work with some people who, and they've all done like. I've never even smoked a cigarette in my life, right? Like the worst drug I've done is literally drinking beer.
Yeah.
So like, yeah, I mean, my addiction to caffeine might speak otherwise, but
gotta try Zip Fizz.
Is it really good?
I got some in my car. You try it.
I've already taken 2 hydroxycut before I came, so I'll be all right. Thank you. It's the first thing I do in the morning before I brush my teeth. Before I go to the bathroom, I go and pop a caffeine pill.
Okay. That's the secret. Okay.
But you know, I kind of ask them all the same sort of question. Like they've all done some of them harder drugs than others, but they're all, most of it's family that sort of a certain feeling of responsibility, which is like, but that's got to start somewhere. And I wonder whether that's something that's taught to them or something that's internal. And I haven't figured that out just in all the conversations I've had with people yet. And but it's admirable either way when people do get out of that, and that's awesome that you brought your family to Orlando. Your sons are both in college?
The older one chose. He I guess he's influenced differently than my younger one. The younger one actually it benefited him by seeing the results of not listening to your parents. So he wound up not going to school. He's hustling in the airport right now. He works for a company called Prospect.
It's honest work, man.
Yeah, it's hard. It's a hard job, but it's good. He's a talker. So it might go into something better and bigger. Maybe that's his journey.
Yeah,
that he's gonna.
It's good, honest work. You can't blame that.
The other one, he wants to be a cop. So yeah, he's taking some psychology courses. So he's up in the air, cop psychology. He's in the criminal justice program.
Where's he going?
Valencia,
to school?
right up the block.
Oh, okay, nice. Rock on, man.
He's gonna do the bridge program.
Lots of folks he can talk to here about that.
Yeah, I know. I told him that.
You should come in and chat with him. I mean, like they'll probably get a more honest.
Even Martinez, one of the other white belts, he works at Target. He says, "Oh, your son's in criminal justice. He's the security program. He's one of the man." He said, "Bring your son to me. Maybe I'll hook him up with a job here." And I don't. He's still in school right now. I say just let him concentrate on school, and let's see where that goes from there.
What high schools did your sons high school did your sons go to when they came down?
They went to a charter school.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Central Florida Leadership Academy. It was off Primrose. But yeah, I thought charter because I didn't know Orlando. My oldest son went to Gateway High School in Kissimmee first. I was all over the map. I was
Oh,
staying.
so you didn't come. You weren't always at Quarry Ford because Gateway's.
Gateway's in
Pretty
Kissimmee,
far out
yeah,
there.
yeah, it is. But I stood at a place called the hotel that we used to come visit when we visited Florida. It was our spot, Cerro-Lago. It's a pretty cool spot, centrally
off
located.
192, right?
Yeah, off 192.
Yeah.
So I says, hey, maybe I'll just live there for a little while. I feel like I'm in I felt like I was on vacation every Saturday and Sunday when I was here. It's like vacation. What? I'm every Saturday and Sunday.
That's
and
awesome.
it was a resort. So I stood there. That's next to Celebration. But I was taking them to Gateway High School because I didn't know any better. So I had them sign up for. I could have chosen any school I wanted, I thought.
Right.
But Gateway, I picked that one. And I took them out and put them in charter school.
Well, Jason, we've done a solid hour, and I know you got to get to work, so we'll kind of wind this down. But I wanted to just ask you on the way out, what do you have any goals for 2020?
Yeah, just keep on coming. Don't get hurt anymore. Try to do whatever it takes to progress. I want to progress. I want to get. No, not necessarily worry about a stripe or 2 stripes, 3. I just want to learn more and stick with it. Stick with jiu-jitsu and try not to get hurt.
How many? What's your schedule look like? How many days a week are you in here?
Well, it's 1099. So my job.
Jiu-jitsu schedule.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm still figuring this new place out. I know I could do very well at this job, but I still have to figure it out, and I gotta prioritize.
Yeah. It's hard to put jiu-jitsu to the back burner.
Yeah,
Right
no,
there.
it is. I have to prioritize, so I just gotta figure it out. Like I'll figure it out. I'm only here a month at the new place, so we'll see where it goes. I'll figure it out.
So really just kind of establish that routine at this new position, figure out what your schedule is going to look like, and then from there you can plan your jiu-jitsu. Ideally, but also realistically, how many days a week would you like to be training? Or how many hours a week would you like to be training?
I like 3 days a week,
Okay.
minimum. I like 3 days a week, and Sundays I started spending more time with my wife. I got to keep her happy too. I used to come every Sunday. So I'll pick a day, either Saturday or Sunday. Ideally,
Chris
3 days
schedule.
a week and one
The Chris
week.
schedule.
Yeah. You can have one or the other, but not both, right? Like that's my.
That's the secret to staying married so long, man.
Yeah, but if you can get her here.
I know. That's
And I've been working for 15, so it's a big challenge if they're not into it early. So
you know, my other secret with that is never go to sleep mad at each other. I mean, you can't sleep if you don't hash things out. You gotta work it out.
That's
And don't roll with her because she's gonna either kick my ass or I'm gonna forget she's a woman and kick her ass.
The wisdom of look at the wisdom here.
Do you ever tussle with your sons right now? Like, oh, you want to go with the old man, huh?
You know, yeah, I kind of I told them, but they know what they're doing. I mean, I've watched them compete, and I used to get mad. Like the older guy, he got tapped one day by his classmate at a competition, at a Naga competition, because it so happened they both made it to the last
This
round.
was here or at?
It was in
up
the Bronx,
New-
yeah.
Okay.
And he got caught in a triangle, and my son tapped. I was like, "What the hell's wrong with you, Jay?" He's like, "Dad, it felt like my teeth were being pushed into my face. What do you want me to do, man?" So that I don't know. Yeah, it was fun, but I don't roll with them now. I asked them to, but they don't do it.
Really?
Yeah, they always
That's
have an excuse.
They'll find their way back too.
I'm probably as an adult, I'm probably at a higher level than they were in their 4 years in kids class. I don't know. Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. They might surprise me.
That's why next Thanksgiving, everybody's together.
That's true.
Festivus, or the next Festivus.
What is that?
Oh, you didn't watch Seinfeld. Did you watch Seinfeld?
No, I used to watch Seinfeld.
Oh,
It's awesome.
well, the Festivus for the rest of us. The big thing is you gather around and you air your grievances and you wrestle it out. That's part of this holiday that was invented by one of the characters.
That's actually like the true tribal spirit. Like,
Absolutely.
We should make that our like here.
Try Festivus.
Yeah.
Yeah, we figure stuff out here.
Jason, thank you so much for your time, brother.
Anytime.
It's been an absolute pleasure.
Yeah.
Anytime.
When we'll see you on Tuesday.
Absolutely.
Hey, there we go. That's what
Yeah.
I talk about.
Thanks, Jason.
It was